Welcome, 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 all you wonderful peeps. This is already by far the largest Zoom I have ever done. So it is also, just so you know, my mentor and upline Galen Green's memorial birthday. I will announce at the end of this and put it in chat a link for her. I'm bringing it up because Galen always encouraged me to push the edge of my comfort zone. She was always inspiring me to be and do my best. So it just so happens this is her birthday when we scheduled this, so her energy is with us as well. We called this originally the West Virginia Spring Launch Rally. It was going to be face-to-face in Charleston, West Virginia. Things being what they are, it morphed into something, in a way, much larger where people from all over the country can attend. So though we don't have the benefit of touchy-feely, face-to-face kind of thing, we do have the benefit of a far greater outreach to many more people, which is powerful. There are always positive ways that we can look at whatever is happening. That is what a practice I cultivate in my life, and I encourage you all to do the same. Another practice I cultivate in my life, and I like to begin everything this way, is with a grounding exercise, and I use Valor for that. You can use whatever power oil you want to, or no oil, if that is your preference. But follow along with me. It takes about a minute. We take a drop of Valor, put it on our left wrist, and then rub it clockwise 3 times. And I encourage you to keep your wrists together, shut your eyes, and relax. And place your attention inward, focusing on the space between your wrists, on the energy flow through this essential oil blend, Valor. Now is the time to ground, center, balance. Connect now with that which you truly are. Supreme, sublime, courage, confidence, strength. When you're ready, you can lift your wrists to your nostrils and imbibe the aroma. All right. Well, I certainly felt a shift, a welcome shift. I'll give you all, many of you have not been on these things with me before that I've done. I'm going to give you a tip. What you can do when you are imbibing the aroma, when you're inhaling, if you take a long, deep breath, inhaling to a count of 7, hold it, your breath, to a count of 3, exhale for a count of 7, hold for a count of 3. Repeat that 3 times, and you will be shifted, even if you do not have an essential oil. But of course, the shift is magnified by using an essential oil. So that's a little tip. It's a very calming, grounding thing that you can do anytime throughout the day on the fly. It's a wonderful practice, and I incorporate it daily, pretty much. Just take time to stop and chill. And that's an excellent way to do it. Now, let me pull up the itinerary here. Let me see. I wonder if Jon came on board yet. I don't see him. So maybe, and he hadn't replied to me. I hope he's okay. You never know. I lost power on Monday, so you never know what happens. It was only on my block. Some of you know a tree fell, knocked down a power line. I was without power all day, so anything can happen. I think we've all learned it's in God's hands, not ours. As they say, the best laid plans of mice and men. So I would have been flying back from a Greece, Italy cruise. Part of it was being at the Young Living Bergamot farm today. So that on Gail Ann's birthday. So none of that happened, even though we had planned it earlier in the year. Interesting. Let me find the itinerary. I just messaged it to someone, actually. Messenger. Oh, yeah, this is very slow, probably because I'm doing the Zoom. So the next person, we have a wonderful set of speakers. And the first person on the docket is a talk on emotional support by licensed professional counselor and silver leader, Amy Jane Williams. Amy, I've known Amy since she began with Young Living, really. She is just such a deep emotional soul. The conversations I've had with her have been so intimate, where she's just opened herself up to me on deep levels. We've helped each other navigate through certain situations. A fond memory I have with her was up at Robert Redford's place. Snowbird, is that what it's not? Is that Sundance? Sundance, the Sundance, where they have the Sundance Film Festival in better days up in the Utah Rockies. And we were taking a ski lift up and hiking down the mountain, and it was just a wonderful time. But I'm going to leave the talk to Amy now, and go for it, Amy.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you all, and that we're together. I think my Young Living community is like family, and so I'm just happy, even though I can't see you in person, to be here with you. I'm going to use two resources today: our handy Essential Oils Pocket Reference and Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils by Carolyn Mine. And even though I am a counselor, everything I'm sharing with you is really fundamentally personal experience and how Young Living has changed my life. I'm wearing my Mr. Rogers shirt today, and I appreciate James, Mr. Rogers, Gary Young, and all of you who I really feel like are superheroes, and that's going to be a little bit of my talk today. So if you're in Young Living, I would consider you a superhero, and really our oils are our handy sidekick, like Batman has Robin. And so there are friends who help us get out of jams and support us in our mission. And so today I'm going to share with you 7 powerful ways to help save the planet by being the superhero that you already are. And if you are a note taker, you don't need to take notes. This is, I have this it's in the Apple Keynote, but I can switch it to PowerPoint. So if you want it, just message me after and I'll send you my talk so you don't have to take notes. So I'm going to share a screen, which is a new experience. So let's see, is it working? No. Oh. Hold on. Why is that not working?
You could try, yeah, you got it.
Okay, good. Thank you for your patience.
One thing
Hopefully.
that many of you can do if you are in video mode, it uses up a lot of bandwidth and slows things down. So if you just like stop your video, this can move along faster. It will help things from being real slow like it was for Amy in starting this.
So I'm talking to you today about how to save the planet, and it starts with you and your Young Living friends. And the first, it's going to be 7 oily ways to help the planet. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is the importance of being a superhero is listening. Listening is a major superhero quality, and if you want to have emotional wellness, being a good listener is important, especially in this time, to be open-minded and willing to hear others. And then the other thing that goes along with that is not having to be right. And the oil that I chose was joy. It's a great oil. We could choose many oils for these things I'm sharing, but just intuitively, I chose joy. I think that when you have a joyful heart, joy can cut through a lot of things. So getting in touch with our joy helps you be fully present in the world, and that helps us be a better listener. And so when you want to be a better listener, get in touch with your joy and apply joy oil to your heart, and then of course smell it and just practice listening. The next superhero quality is having manners. And I actually went to manners school as a young girl. I didn't want to. My mom would like drag me out of a tree in my overalls, put me in a little velvet dress, and sent me to manners school. And I think sometimes we forget how important manners are as an emotional wellness practice and one of our superpowers, that we want to be constructive and we want to remain calm. James already picked valor, but I think valor is really great to apply it to your abdomen, where we have kind of like our, like our Dantian in Chinese medicine, our courage, our power chakra, like, becoming really centered and like having the courage to just stand in our own truth and be confident helps us be constructive and be calm. So I think valor is very grounding and uplifting, and having manners. The next one is not to lasso people. I think this is important superhero quality and one of our superpowers. We don't need to provoke people, and we don't need to let people provoke us. So for this one, and I used the Carolyn Mind book to kind of help me also explore these, is I picked peace and calming. I think peace and calming is great to diffuse. I love peace and calming. It's very different than stress away, and I feel like for me, it just feels more grounding and it feels very calming. And so the more we're kind of grounded and calm, and we just trust that we can be who we are, and we can let other people be who they are, then that's inner peace, and we don't have to like rope people in or get into conflict. The next superhero quality is patience, and I talk about Melrose for patience a lot. It's in Carolyn Mind's book, and patience is an amazing superhero quality that helps yourself and the planet, because patience lets us have space and it lets things be unresolved. Sometimes if we've had trauma, we don't like, or if you've either had trauma or you're a J on the Myers-Briggs test, if you know what that means, like you like order, you like to know the beginning and ending time. So like you could handle things if you knew when the end date was, but sometimes we don't know when things will be resolved. So Melrose is a great oil for cultivating patience. And I actually just felt like putting Melrose like on your hand and applying it even to your tailbone at the bottom of your spine and at the top of your spine, just kind of just connecting with your spine and your inner strength. the next superhero quality is pick your battle. So, we need to learn, like, do things really matter? Is this really a battle that I want to get into? Sometimes we get triggered. If you have a wound from childhood that you have not resolved, it's like you easily can get triggered. And what we want to do is our work so we don't get as easily triggered. And we can have more internal spaciousness, like, does this really matter? And is this even my issue? And I love Trauma Life. It's a pretty complex oil. And I would encourage you to even research these oils later. Go look in Carolyn Mine's book at these specific oils and the affirmations. But Trauma Life is a great blend of oils. I think even just inhaling it and thinking, do I really need to go there? Like, is this something I really need to push or pursue? And just getting clarity about that. And then the end goal. I love to follow Danielle Laporte on social media. She often talks about, what do I want to experience, or what will I do to feel the way I want to feel? So we want to think about part of emotional wellness and being a superhero is, what is my end goal? What do I want to experience? Sometimes it's not like winning or proving somebody's wrong. Like, that can bring a lot of harm to a relationship. So for me, rosemary is, again, very grounding to just even inhale it and just get some clarity. What is it that I really want to experience in this situation with this person? And taking a pause. And I'm just going to say here that one thing the oils do for me is they do give me a pause. I think I already talked about that earlier, but it's like, instead of being so reactionary, it's like, okay, I'm going to take a pause and have some space and use my oils to get a shift before I choose my response. Another quick side note, and I can include this later, Viktor Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning talked about, really our growth lies between the stimulus and the response. So we want to, that's another reason the oils are our trusty sidekicks, to give us a little more space before we respond. Then we want to practice being flexible. So being flexible is having emotional maturity and being adaptable. And I put a little side note that you definitely don't want to use these oils on plastic people, but we're not plastic people, right? So don't apply the oils to your plastic Spider-Man, but you can apply them to yourself to help you be flexible. And peppermint is really great. I feel like peppermint just clears out the cobwebs, the spider webs in your brain, to get clear about, again, what do I want to experience, and what is the wisdom in this situation that I want to access to be a light to the world, to be helpful. And I like putting peppermint on my wrists and smelling it. You can even put on your temples if you're careful to keep it away from your eyes. And what is this really all about is that every one of us is actually a world leader. So you can set the example. This is sometimes hard because sometimes it's like we want an authority figure or our parent or somebody else to set the example, but you are responsible for setting the example. And you do that when you love yourself, you do your own work. You remember there's only one you on this planet, so nobody can do the work that you're meant to do on this planet, and you have a right to be heard, but we want you to be effective. So for that, I picked my lovely Magnify Your Purpose. I like the idea of putting Magnify Your Purpose on the top of your head and even the bottom of your feet, just to know, like, I'm going to stand in my truth, be myself, clear out my issues, be a light to the world. I have a right to be heard, but remember, number one, I also want to listen as well. And so, this helps you. I think Magnify Your Purpose, also you can apply it to your heart to help you live from your heart. So, So the main thing is, boom, like, we want to make an impact on the world, because as young living people, we have these amazing tools that we can use and share to change the planet. We have this legacy of people who have created all these formulas and blends and this system to help us be successful and share. And so I hope that you will do that. So I think that's pretty much it. And thank you for listening. And if you do want, if you want to get a copy of that, just let me know later and I will be glad to share that.
So Amy, wonderful talk, wonderful talk. One thing, it was chock full of so much. One thing that came to mind for me, I'm very fond, one of my favorite jazz artists is the late great singer Billie Holiday. One of her famous quotes is, "Sometimes it's worse to win a fight than to lose." And that stood out for me amongst all your excellent information, what you had said. I forgot to do this in my little talk at the beginning, and I'll remind you, we were going to do giveaways, and you had a question to ask what you're giving away and what your the question is. And for everybody, so if you answer in chat, Amy's going to offer a giveaway. She'll have a question. If you answer it, you have a chance to have it shipped to you to win it. So I encourage you all to get your ears up and your fingers ready to put the answer down.
So I have two questions. The first question is, if you can list all the oils in the Feelings kit, is question number one. And question number two is, can you tell me what Gary Young said was the single oil that reminded him the most of childhood? So the first question is all the oils in the Feeling kit. And the second one is, can you remember the single blend that Gary said reminded him of childhood? Do we tell them what they're getting, or you do that later?
No, you can tell them what they're getting.
So I'm going to give away 2 30-minute emotional clearing sessions. So whoever answers that correctly, if you want to have an emotional clearing with me, we will schedule a Zoom time and we will do that. And I'll have 2 of those.
Wow, Amy, that was, for one thing, an excellent talk. Also, I'm going to incorporate a lot of what you suggested myself. I'll have to re-listen to this. Just your talk alone made it worth re-listening to. Everybody, this will be recorded and be available for re-listening. Also, that is a wonderful giveaway. My teacher taught me that we can give away anything, but don't give away your time. What he meant was not to give it away lightly. I view it like I can always get more money, more things. What I cannot get more than I'm given is time. Time is incredibly valuable. And Amy, you're giving away, you're offering people your time for a very valuable emotional clearing session. So generous. Thank you.
I'm glad that I can. Thank you for having me here today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And thank you for being here. So I was supposed to do a giveaway myself, which I forgot, thanks to Bridget for texting me and reminding me. I always tell my team, it's great to have team members. They help keep me on track, because they know if I wasn't tethered to the ground, I'd float away probably, like Gail Ann. So my giveaway is going to be a bottle of Valor. Okay, you'll get a free bottle of Valor sent to you, but this is a tough question for some of you. I'm just going to remind you, Google can be your best friend, but you need to tell me the original, or put in the chat box, the original Valor formula. The current formula for Valor, the current oils in it, are not what it was originally. It changed. So if you can answer that question, put the original formula down, you have the opportunity to win a bottle of Valor. No small value at all. All right. So I'm going to announce our next speaker now. Let me find that in the itinerary here. Okay. So this is going to be, and he did get on with us, Jon McGarry. Some of you from way back, most of you probably don't know Jon. Jon was with Young Living. I forgot when he told me he left. So much blends in my 20 plus year career with Young Living, but he was there in the earlier days, the first half of my career with Young Living. He was there when we would go on the first cruises. He has become an avid scuba diver. The first time he scuba dove in the ocean was with me on one of these cruises. I remember his, he was in marketing, sort of the equivalent of what, name's slipping my mind now. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. He was in the marketing part of Young Living back then. And his boss, who he reported to, we all went scuba diving. Jon took to water like a fish. His boss, though very athletic, I remember him always throwing up whenever we went scuba diving. But Jon didn't. He's embraced it, and we've had a lot of fun together. Jon is going to not only share with, he works for Itovi now, not with Young Living. He's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on with Itovi, share it, because he's real close friends with, well, was when Gary was informed, with Gary Young and his family, has a few Gary stories to tell us of intimate times with Gary. Here's Jon.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much, James, for letting me be on this this great Zoom here today, and thanks everybody. I feel like I'm coming home. I really do. 15 years ago, I fell in love with essential oils when I started working at Young Living, and I used essential oils every day since then. And even after I left the company, I still use them on a daily basis. And so I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to tell you a little bit of, because my time with Young Living was an incredibly wonderful time. I became very good friends with Gary and Mary and the boys. I was invited on a number of horseback trips into the mountains of central Idaho, where Gary grew up. I love that Amy mentioned one of the oils that reminded Gary of his childhood. I actually went to Chalice, where Gary grew up, and spent many wonderful times there. But I'll tell you one of the funnest stories that I've ever had, and one of the greatest adventures. We went down to Ecuador. And this was early on, before the farm was, we were building the farm at that point, but it wasn't completed, and it wasn't the wonderful farm that it is today. But while we were down there, one of the main reasons for going down there was to find new oils. And so we go down, we were spending a week, we took our backpacks and we took all of our gear, and we drove all the way across the country of Ecuador. And we get to the almost the Colombian border. We get on a boat and we ride 60 miles up a river on a boat to just out in the middle of the jungle. And Gary, the story and the memory that I remember is Gary would say often on this trip, where it's the most dangerous is where the best oils grow. And it was so funny to hear him, just head out into the jungle. And it's amazing because some of the oils that you guys use today and that the company has actually brought to market are oils that we discovered on that trip. And that was Gary's mentality, was that he wasn't going to just follow the others. He wasn't going to follow anybody. He was going to blaze his own trail and really be a trendsetter and a path creator. And I've learned so many great, wonderful lessons. And I've been able to maintain that friendship with Mary now and the boys, and it's been wonderful to see them grow up. But let me tell you a little bit about Itovi and a little bit about what we're doing and about what Itovi's doing. If you don't have a scanner, we're going to talk about this scanner. So first we'll talk about this, and then we'll talk about our newest product, which is Itovi DNA. But let's talk about the Itovi scanner and what it is and how it works. and how you can use it to maximize your business, because these are incredible tools that can help maximize your business. So the Itovi scanner, it's a scanner, it's a hand scanner. You hold it in your hand. It uses galvanic skin response, very similar to the same technology that's found in a Fitbit watch or an Apple Watch, where it uses subtle electrical frequencies that pulse through the body to match up the frequencies in your body to the frequencies found in each one of the Young Living products. We have purchased every single Young Living product. We have scanned them to identify the frequencies. And then by doing this scan, it matches up the frequencies that are happening in our body at that given time, and it correlates those to the Young Living products. It will then give you a baseline and actually show you what areas you should focus on. And I love this because one of the questions that comes up over and over and over again is that, where do I begin? What oil do I start with? You know, what direction should I take? And now you've got a tool that can put people in that mode of, these are areas that you should focus on. We're seeing a lot of people that are continuing to scan even through all the craziness that's happening. We're seeing elevated scans around anxiety, around fear, a lot of those emotional sections where people are really being challenged right now with some of that loneliness and some of the issues that are happening. But this is an incredible tool for not only recruiting and finding new people to share oils with, but it also can be a tool that you can use for your wellness. And you can scan yourself. We recommend you scan yourself at least once a week. Some people will scan themselves every day to see which oils to diffuse or what oils I should focus on every single day. So it's an incredible tool that can really help your business to narrow the focus. So instead of saying, hey, you know, what oils should I begin with? And you respond by saying, hey, this is what I started with, or this is what I would recommend. Now you can scan an individual, takes about a minute and a half, and actually give them some direction of where to start and where to begin. So if you don't have one, you can pick one up. Itovi.com is the place to do that, and definitely look for more information. Now, let me jump over to something else that gets me really excited. I'll put it up here by the screen. This is a brand new system. This is our Itovi DNA. It's a full DNA system, but it's very different than other DNA systems that are out there, whether it's Ancestry or 23andMe or some of the other ones that are out there. Those look to where you've been. They look to your lineage. They look to your history. They look to kind of where your bloodlines come from. This Itovi DNA is all about where you're going. And what it does is we have mapped, again, all of the Young Living products, and you'll take this DNA test, you'll do swabs, you'll mail them into our lab, and they will then generate reports that tie directly back to your genes and match those gene expression to specific Young Living products. So for example, if you get a report that's on nutrition, it'll show all of the different vitamins and minerals that your body absorbs well, or your body may not absorb very well. And then if there's an area that let's say that you're lacking in a specific vitamin, it will then match up a Young Living product that is high and has high levels of that specific nutrient. So that's just one of the reports. There's going to be 7 reports that you can tie into. One is on diet, one is on exercise, that will actually show you what kind of exercise you should do if you're interested in getting in shape. It will focus on doing cardio for these type activities, or doing some weightlifting in these kind of areas. So incredible tool that can then give you that baseline. We know that your bodies are constantly changing. That's why the scanner works so well, is that your bodies are constantly evolving, but your baseline is set by using this DNA kit. So using them together can be incredibly powerful. We've got some special things that we're doing. In fact, we've got some special pricing that I've gone in and negotiated for everybody that's listening in here. If you want to save some incredible money, I will post it in the chat so you guys can see. You'll be able to save up to $80 off a scanner. You'll be able to save some money off the monthly scanners as well. So I'll put that in the chat section so that you guys can have that code and you guys will know exactly what to do. So with that said, I want to give away something. I love to give away stuff. We've got these incredible street cases. They're a great way to hold your scanner and also hold 15 of your favorite oils. And so I've got a scanner at the office, or I've got one of these street cases at the office that I'm going to give to the first person that can answer this question in the chat. So the question is, what technology is used to generate an accurate scan using the Itovi system? I said it a couple of times. Oh, look at how fast they were there. Man, I'm impressed.
Julia!
I am super, super impressed there. Congratulations. That was fast, and you're incredible. So anyways, definitely look into, if you're looking for more information about Itovi, just go to itovi.com. There's information on the website and our Facebook groups all about the DNA, about the scanner themselves. If you have additional questions, reach out to me at any time. I'm the Vice President of Business Development for Itovi, and I'm here to help you every single step of the way. Now, I'm going to end with a quote that I've used and I've shared for a long time, but I think it applies to your group, James, and these incredible people that are on here. So growing up, I lived in the same house my entire life. And I walk into my house, this was a number of years ago, and living in the same home, I look up at this picture on the wall, and the picture had sat there for literally my entire life, and I had walked by it, and I had never read it once. So I made the horrible mistake of saying to my mother, hey, is this a brand new picture? I love this quote. To which she responded and said, that's been there your entire life, John. But it applies to you, and here's what it says. It says, if you could see in a vision what you could become, you would rise up and never be the same. Let me say that one more time. If you could see in a vision what you could become, you will rise up and never be the same. And that is exactly what I think, and I want each of you guys to do, especially in this time of craziness. Rise up, be the person that you can be, and you will achieve your dreams. I promise you that. If you continue to work hard, push hard, use your Young Living products every single day, you will have success, whatever that may be for each and every one of you. So thank you guys for letting me be on the call. Thank you, James, for allowing me to be here. You guys are awesome. I love you guys.
Wow. Thank you, John. Thank you for being here. I'm so grateful that John was able to join us with the story of his knowing Gary Young. I have Gary stories too, and it just brings me back to the earlier days with Young Living. I love the way it is now, what we've grown into, what we are growing into, but I also love the times when it was much smaller and more intimate. I will share with you, the giveaway is really cool. Julia, you were on it. My gosh. Listening skills. I'm impressed. And also nimble fingers, obviously. But the other thing, I use Itovi. I have found it to help me personally. I can tell you it really works I'm not going to detail what it has done for me, but it has really worked. And if any of you are interested in my story with that, you can contact me privately. Also, I really like this DNA testing thing. I've already purchased mine. It seems real interesting. I'm looking forward to it. It can help ourselves thrive in well-being because it matches Young Living products to our actual DNA, our genetic makeup. If our people use it, it can help them thrive in health and well-being. It can help us all grow. So being that John's going to give us discounts on the scanner, and I believe that, I encourage you to look for that in the chat and take advantage of it. What more can you ask for? Thanks for your generosity, John, with that. very impressed. So let's see who is next. All right. We have a presentation on Thieves products and lung health by Silver Leader Jaclyn Ruble. Jaclyn is someone I met through doing these West Virginia rallies a few years ago. She's a Silver Leader. She's cross-line. We've collaborated on these events in West Virginia. She's always had wonderful ideas about how to do raffles and giveaways when we're face to face. Really cool ideas, like, I won't go into that now, but things that we've incorporated into our team. And also, she's, for a Young Living person, a tech whiz. She has taught me how to do cool stuff. Like those of you who I've shared how to do a search in the downline viewer for your inactive people, it was Jaclyn who taught me that. So she's really somebody special. She's got a great head on her shoulders. And it's when we work with Crossline, when we view all of Young Living as our greater family, then we all thrive together. So I encourage you all to view our fellow human beings that way, as a greater family, and we can all thrive together. So you're on, Jaclyn.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, James, so much. I never thought that I would hear someone call me a tech genius or guru. So I appreciate that. It's really good to be here with all of you today. And I echo what James just said. Having the opportunity to work cross-line with all of them has been such a blessing. And several of people from James's team have become really close personal friends of mine. And I just encourage all of you guys to reach out and grow those relationships with people outside of your team, because truly they can become, part of our biggest support system. So thank you. It's an honor to be here with all of you today. So like James mentioned, I'm going to be discussing Thieves and lung health and how those two things are related. I'm going to go over a bit about why it's so important to ensure that we are using products, in and around our homes that are harsh chemical free, as well as some of the ingredients that we can easily look for on labels that are considered, really dangerous, and we really shouldn't have them in our home. And some of the ways that they do harm and damage not only our immune system, but our respiratory system. And being that we're in this time of that which won't be named, it's really important that we are all doing, everything that we can to make sure that we're not putting ourselves at a greater risk than necessary. And then we're going to talk about some best practices that we can do if something were to happen and we need a little more support for our immune system and our respiratory system. And if it's okay with you guys, before we get started, I just want to give a little bit of backstory of how I, came to be a part of Young Living, and found myself, as most people do, I believe, accidentally sharing the just tremendous benefits of the full Young Living lifestyle. So 6 years ago, I was really sick, and I had been sick my whole life. My earliest memories, constant sinus infection, strep throat, headaches, and all of those things continued my whole life well into adulthood. And 6 years ago, I had taken a trip to Vegas, and I had started to learn about oils, then didn't know a thing about Young Living, and had just been buying oils in a grocery store. And I saw a recipe online on Pinterest of how to make Thieves oil. And I knew, based off of the things I had read on Pinterest about Thieves oil, that it was supposed to help with immune system function. And so knowing that I was going to be getting on a plane, and knowing that most of the time that happened, I always wound up sick, with a cold or sore throat or something after, I wanted to make this Thieves oil to make sure that I wasn't sick once we got to Vegas. So used those store-bought oils, made my Thieves blend, and put it on my nose, put it on my feet, put it just above my lip, and fire set in. And we all know Thieves oil itself, is a hot oil and can burn, but this was a whole nother level. I honestly thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to get to Vegas and spend the next week there covered in blisters on my nose and on my lips. And what in the world, why did all these people on pictures lie to me about how, great this Thieves oil blend is? And to make the long story short, was telling one of my friends poolside, my story. And she said, no. And she just happened to have Thieves in her bag. You have to use this. You can't use that store-bought stuff. It's the same as using a harsh, chemical filled product, which is the whole point, right? In using oils and oil infused products is to avoid those things. So that was the beginning of my Young Living journey. And it all started with Thieves. So it's, pretty appropriate that I, get to talk about Thieves a bit today. So some of the things that we want to think about as we, begin to focus on supporting our immune function and supporting our respiratory function are the things that we have in our homes that may be hindering that. And the list is as long as, we have days in a month. It's a huge list. And of course, it's difficult to identify those, every single item. But what you can do is remember a few of these ingredients, because they are all, for the most part, found in most store-bought items. And so some of the big ones, the worst offenders, fragrance, of course. I think most of us know the dangers of fragrance and know that fragrance isn't just one ingredient when you see it on the label. I mean, it can encompass literally hundreds of different ingredients. And because of a loophole in a law that was put into place in 1976, it's considered proprietary information. And so these companies, these manufacturers, do not have to list out what those items are. And they just do a whole host of things to our bodies that are really, really bad, especially with regards to our respiratory function. There's also ingredients: petroleum, sodium lauryl sulfate, 1,4-dioxane, chlorine, borax. Those are all things that you can kind of keep in mind and think of. But for most people who are starting out, I just tell them, just look for fragrance. If you see the word fragrance or perfume on a label, then I need to avoid that, because it's going to harm my immune function and it's going to harm my respiratory function. And anyone else or any other living being in your home, the same is true for them. Some of the things that are in our home, products wise, that we find these things the most in, for me, were some of my favorite products. Were candles and plug-ins and those room sprays and dryer sheets and scented body lotion, just all of these things. And, for most of us, I think we never give it a second thought, right, about them being harmful, because we can buy them in stores. And how can they sell something in a store if it is known to cause damage? And all the way down to a cellular level. So we're not just talking about lowering immune function and respiratory function here. We're talking causing literal damage to our DNA. And that's, once you know that, it's really scary. And it also it makes me upset and mad. But one of the things that we can do that's really simple is we just stop buying those things and replace them with things like, products from our Thieves line. It's so inexpensive and it is so easy and safe. And you don't ever have to worry about, someone opening your cabinet to go to your cleaner and having, something bad happen to them for using it. And you don't have to worry about, well, if I have a cold or if I have this or that happening and I need to clean my house, that it's going to make that even worse because I'm using products, that are causing lung distress or causing damage to my gut, which is going to damage my immune system and make it even more difficult for my body to do what it's supposed to do, which is to heal and to recover. Something that I found oh gosh, when I first started, reading and researching, and maybe some of you guys have found this too, is the huge discrepancy between the United States and most other developed countries on product ingredients that are allowed here in the US versus are allowed in other countries. In the US, there are 13 product ingredients that are banned, only 13. And that goes not only to our, home care products, but also our personal care products. And when you look at other countries like the European Union, Canada, a lot of the other, what we consider to be developed, first world countries, they have 1,300 plus ingredients that are banned, which is still too small of a number because there are about 84,000 different ingredients that make up our products. So 1,300 is still a really small number, but just comparatively speaking, it's crazy when you know that, small little statistic. And when you know and you start making those changes, you can feel the difference that it makes with your body and with your respiration. So some fun facts, how do these things harm our immune and respiratory function? There was a study that was just done, I think it just came out 2 years ago in the American Thoracic Society's Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine. And I'm sure all of us or a lot of us here may have seen it, but if not, it was shocking statistics. So they followed over 6,000 people for a 20-year period, women in particular, because typically we are the ones at home who are doing the majority of cleaning, and found that we were the ones who suffered a significant amount of health problems with regard to our lung function after using all of these cleaning products, and that over a 10 to 20 year period, just by using cleaning products, the damage done was equal to that of smoking 20 cigarettes a day every year, every day, every year for 10 to 20 years from cleaning products. And when you think that all it takes is something so simple as ditching and switching those products to ensure that we don't have those issues and we don't have those damages, happening to our bodies unnecessarily, for me, it's a no-brainer, and it's so simple and it's so easy. And it's a large part of and a large piece of why I am so passionate about sharing just the Thieves line and the Thieves product in general, because like Amy said, we need to be the change, you guys, and we need to be the ones who are leading the way and ensuring that our home, that's the only place that we can control what happens. And that's the simplest, easiest place to start. And, we can help all of our friends do the same. Some other fun, if you will, facts that go along with whether we're using clean products or, harsh chemical filled products is within 1 minute when we apply something, or if we're walking on the floor that has been cleaned with a product, for the most part, within 1 minute, we can find those things in our bloodstream in measurable levels. And then when you think about babies and kids and the elderly population, their bodies absorb about 40 to 50% more than what we as adults absorb. So they're at an even much greater risk than what we are from, the effects of these harmful chemicals in our products. Once those things go into our body, we all know we have our excretory system that is there to help us get rid of any, foreign invaders, whether it's a synthetic product or, whether it's a virus or something like that. And our livers can only process out so much a day. And when it's a synthetic ingredient, its job is to protect our major organs. And so it can't filter those things out. So what it does is it sends those things directly to our fat cells to be stored safely so that it can't create damage to our organs, like our lungs, like our gut, our immune system center. And so we're all walking around filled with these toxic ingredients. And that means it's going to become more difficult for our bodies to, again, do what they're supposed to do and fight things off. it's like a big, huge storm, perfect storm of things that happen within our body. And so it's a really good idea for us to do the best that we can do to make sure that we are using only safe, clean products. So when we have times like these that are happening right now, we don't have to be scared and we don't have to be fearful, because we know that our homes are safe spaces, and we know that our bodies are going to be able to function at the level that they were designed to function at, because we're not doing anything that's going to harm them and already put them at a disadvantage. So what's the answer to that? You just ditch and switch. It's so simple. Household cleaner, you can throw every household cleaner you have away. Totally throw it away. All you need is Thieves household cleaner, literally top to bottom. There isn't a surface in my home, in my studio, that does not get cleaned with Thieves household cleaner. It is less expensive than any cleaner you will find in a store, even the dollar stores, and you can rest easy knowing that it's doing zero damage. A good rule of thumb is if you flip a product over and it has a poison control center label on it, then it should not be in your home. And it doesn't have to be in your home. We don't have to use things that are harsh and things that are noxious and things that are poisonous in order to cleanse and purify our homes and the air in our home safely. Some other things that you can do, I get the question all the time, well, what have you done differently now that which will not be mentioned is, happening in our world? And my answer is, I'm not doing anything differently than I have done for the last 6 years. This is my lifestyle. And I know that what I do daily is, going to keep me well, regardless of what is happening and going on around me. So some things that I always make sure that I have: Thieves spray in my purse, Thieves hand, we're not supposed to say the word, but we all know what it is, Thieves hand purifier. And it's something that literally, I get out of the car, if I pump gas, Thieves on my hands. If I walk into a store and it's not an automatic door, Thieves. If I'm going to touch a grocery cart, a shopping cart, Thieves spray. And these are just all habits, super simple, super quick, that I believe have been a large part of helping to keep me well for the last 6 years, in addition to not assaulting my body on the daily like I did for the first 36 years of my life, because I had my home filled with harsh chemical products that were causing immense amount of damage to the immune and respiratory function. And then one of my most favorite things, and I think probably most people's favorite things, is diffuse, 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 diffuse. There's no better way to cleanse and purify the air in our home than through our cold air ultrasonic diffusion. And you guys, I have a teensy tiny house. It has one bathroom. It's 4 or 5 rooms. In my living room, I have 2 diffusers. In what was my dining room and is now my makeshift Pilates studio, I have a diffuser. In my kitchen, I have a diffuser. In my bedroom, I have a diffuser. In my office, I have a diffuser. In my bathroom, I have a diffuser. And when I wake up in the morning, I have my, little or big measuring cup of water. I walk around, I fill every single diffuser in my house and get every single diffuser turned on. And you can not only, can help to cleanse and purify the air with diffusing, but you get to do just what Amy talked about. We get to help manage our stress and manage our emotions. The benefits to diffusing are just through the roof and off the charts, and it's so easy to do. And again, every oil that you're using is a harsh chemical that you're not using. And so when we get rid of those candles and plug-ins and sprays and tart warmers and all of that, you've just given a huge boost to your respiratory function. Huge, 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 you guys. And so that's one of the simplest things that you can do. Fill every room in your home with the, awesome oils that we have been given. Some of my favorites to diffuse during this time, RC. I also love to apply RC to our chest, to our back. A fun fact that some of you may not know is we have the most real estate for our lungs on the back side of our body. So it's a really great place to get the, greatest benefit is to get your oils that are beneficial to our lung function, to get those on your back. So RC, Ravensara. Oh, I've been going through Ravensara like crazy. Exodus 2. Mountain Savory. So those would be, my top 4 that I have been going through and using a lot of during this time. And I wanted to share one last thing with you guys, something that maybe you're not familiar with, that may sound a little crazy. It's something that some of us, I feel, who have been in Young Living a little longer, and we were allowed to know and talk about things a little more openly when we first began. And so maybe you may not know about it now. And if you do, drop it in the comments if you have heard of this method before. And that is using a veggie capsule. But instead of using the veggie capsule orally, we're going to use the veggie capsule rectally. Which is sort of funny. It may seem awkward, but when it comes to our lungs, the quickest and the simplest and the most effective way that we can help promote healthy respiration if we were to find ourselves in some sort of less than desirable state is put your oils in a veggie capsule. So my personal recommendation would be, especially again, this time of year, the things that are happening would be Ravensara. If you're not familiar with Ravensara, I highly recommend you use the book that Amy showed you at the beginning of her talk and look that oil up as to why it's so important. But I would recommend doing Ravensara, Mountain Savory, and Exodus 2. You cannot beat those oils for what they do as far as helping to promote, healthy lung and respiratory function. They are just out of this world. And I recommend doing it at bedtime, obviously, like you would anything else. Yeah, and like what James says in his comment, when we go that route, even though it's awkward, it helps us to completely bypass the digestive system. And so those oils, just what he said, they go straight into our bloodstream, you guys. And it is amazing. And not just from respiratory function perspective, but that it's a really good one to remember and tell all your friends about. That you can, yes, Booty Boom. I love that name. We were thinking this morning, we were brainstorming on some ideas of what we could call it. That's a really good one, Booty Boom. And so just to wrap up, again, the key points that we all want to remember when it comes to immune system and respiratory function is the things that we use in and around our home and go into our body, they're either creating and promoting health, or they are harming and hindering our health. Some of the top offenders that you can look for on your products, if you have yet to completely switch over, via ditch and switch, is fragrance, 1,4-dioxane, any petroleum or petrolatum, a lot of times it will be listed, derivatives, sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium lauryl sulfate. Those are easy, but if you can only remember one, look for fragrance. If it has fragrance or the word perfume or perfume, then you don't want it in your house ever. And the simplest way to avoid them is just don't buy them. If you already have them, throw them away. If you don't have Thieves Cleaner, get your Thieves Cleaner today. Hop on, order you some Thieves Cleaner, order you an extra diffuser to have in your house, and start there. Super simple, super easy. And then I just want to circle back to the start of my story as we end. I was sick all the time, you guys, all the time. From the time I was a child all the way up until, when my friend introduced me to real Thieves oil after I nearly caused myself second-degree burns with the fake stuff. My hormones were a mess. My skin was a mess. I had constant recurring strep, sinus infection, respiratory illnesses, and everything else that comes along with that. And here I am 6 years later. I haven't had any of those issues happen since 2014 when I began this journey. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, it's because I got rid of all of those things in my home. So my body was able to do what it was designed to do. And that was to come back into balance and heal itself. And on the rare occasion, that I have found myself having to fight a little bit harder, no problem. My body's able to focus on that because it's not worried it's not worried with or having to work harder because it's already, where it's supposed to be. I just am so incredibly grateful and blessed for all that Young Living has done, from a health perspective and from a friend perspective, and love being here with you guys today. And want to leave you with this. Just remember, you don't have to be extreme in anything, any part of this. Just be consistent. Just be consistent in what you do daily, and everything else will fall into place. And that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jaclyn. Wow, what a wonderful talk, Jaclyn. I'll remind you with your giveaway, if you could do your quick drawing, that'd be good. You're on.
Yeah, so my question for my giveaway, what are the single oils that are in Thieves? So get to typing, get to guessing. And what I'm going to give away, I love little oil bags and things that make oil organization better. I've got this one packed out. But I'm giving away this super cute oil bag that has a removable insert that will hold 2 rollers and 3 regular oil bottles that is like a little wristlet thing. So once, I forget who it is that's going to look out for who our winners are. But
Bridget's taking care of that for us.
Yeah, Bridget. So I'll just need an address from whoever wins. But yeah, look at y'all. That was super fast. Y'all know you're thieves. That's awesome.
All right. Thank you, Jaclyn, for that wonderful talk. It just reminded me of so many things. The oils that she mentioned, the Mountain Savory, the Raven Star, the RC. The first oil I ever used was RC. That's what introduced me to Young Living. And back then, over 20 years ago, I really needed all those oils. I was using them a lot. As my kids, I used them on my kids too. They really supported the immune system. Also, what stood out for me were the things that we don't want in our lives. I can really get on my soapbox. Those of you who have heard me talk before, sometimes I'll really get on that soapbox about all the toxic crap in the cleaners and personal care items that we use. So Jaclyn highlighted that. Another thing that she mentioned was the hand goo. I have one here. I noticed it's in German. They gave it to us in Europe, I think, maybe last year. Wasserlöser Handring. I don't speak German. I need to give that to my brother. But I carry this with me wherever I go. I carry the spray with me wherever I go. That's not a change in my lifestyle these days. What has changed is that in the car, I keep the large one. Okay, that's in the car. And I have a few extra spray bottles in the car whenever I go out now. So we really have wonderful products to support us always. And if we support our health and well-being all along, then it's not a change in lifestyle. And then our immune systems will be strong when we need it. There was just so much in that talk that I can't even comment on because it would be too much. And we are on a time constraint. I will remind you all, I'm hoping to wind this up by 1:30 because there is a birthday celebration for Gail Ann Green. Those of you who are on early know that I talked about that a little bit. I will post that link when we close up. And I'm going to announce the winners now for these different things. So Adria just won the case that Jaclyn is offering. So Adria, if you can get me, private message me. I'm going to post this and all the winners, and I'll announce the other winners now. Julia Legg won the scanner case. Darren Williams won the Valor, and Donna White, the emotional clearing sessions offered by Amy. So I'm going to post, you can get me your mailing address. Sometimes if you're in my team, I have that, but sometimes you don't update that. You update your shipping address, or you're at another location now. But this is my information. The, oops, that was wrong. I need to put that to everyone and send it. Okay, so there's my information. You can email it to me, you can text or call me on that phone number, or private message me on Facebook, but just make sure I have your correct mailing address. And that's Darren won the Valor, Donna White won the emotional clearing sessions, Julia Legg won the scanner case, and who did I say won the last? Bridget just told me. She didn't give me the last name. Adria won the case, that the carrying case that Jaclyn's offering. So I am Offenberger, Adria Offenberger. So if you all can get me your mailing address. I spelled my email wrong, did I? I sure did. Okay, I'm going to change that. So let me do that here. I'll give you the correct, like I tell you, it's a good thing I have my team watching out for me. They keep me on track. We all support each other, and that's what's so important. It's a we thing. We're all in this together. Okay, now my email address is corrected. That's my correct phone number. Last I looked, you can text me there or call me. I'm definitely a talky kind of person, and I'm glad to hear from any of you. Or private message me on Facebook. Those are ways you can get with me with your proper mailing address so you can receive these wonderful giveaways. All right, let me find the next participant. I believe, I'm almost certain it is Silver Leader. Okay, Silver Leader Allison Clem. Allison owns a spa in somewhere in West Virginia. I've never been to, I think it's a like smaller area than Charleston, though Charleston would be a small area even compared to where I live. But I have been to Charleston a number of times. But Allison and I have grown close. I am super friendly with Allison. She just has this warm, loving heart. She is just, I know inside it's not always the case because she shared with me, but she's just so calm and even. And just being around her, she exudes this calming, relaxing energy. I just love being around her. She's a Silver Leader. She's a great builder. Allison can do anything she puts her mind to, and I'm really looking forward to hearing her talk now. So she is going to be presenting on gut health and immunity. Take it away, Allison.
Thank you, James. That was such a lovely introduction. I'm so delighted to be sharing with you guys in here today because I have been a little bit professionally displaced through what's been going on lately. So being able to do this today has like really given me purpose and life. So thank you guys for letting me come share with you today. Like James said, my name's Allison. I'm going to end up putting my contact information in the chat so that if any of you guys have any questions after this, please reach out. I have been asked to talk about the immune system and gut health and everything you need to know about it in 15 minutes. So that's a little bit of a sarcastic joke. But while I was getting mentally prepared for the presentation today, what really popped into my head in addition to immune support and gut health was nervous system. So my current professional background is in being a licensed esthetician and a yoga instructor, but I really study nutrition, alternative health, plant medicine, body systems, emotions, and energy like it is my full-time job. So I got an opportunity to take some extensive education with Tiffany Cruikshank through her yoga medicine program on the nervous system and the immune system, which is kind of like neuroimmunology. So it's actually one of my favorite topics to speak about today. And I don't know how familiar you guys are with your nervous systems, but when I used to come in contact with people in real life, I feel like most of us really need to give our nervous systems some attention and some support. So we're going to add nervous system in with immune system and gut health today. All right. So first and foremost, at some point in our lives, I feel like we find ourselves in these circumstances which put us on a health journey. And we try different things, and we have some good experiences and we have some bad experiences. So we kind of start to reach a place where we start to have a knowing about what we like and what we dislike, what's helping and what isn't helping. And you probably have tried lots of different vitamins, supplements, ways of eating, different oils, lifestyle choices, and even hobbies that either really resonate with you or they don't. So part of what I really want to share about today is I'm really passionate about encouraging people to develop a relationship with your intuition and becoming educated and empowered about your body, your health, and what you choose for your medicine. I love that we have great tools like the Itovi, which kind of helps direct our path along the way. But we also know by using something and then checking in with how it works and how we feel about it. So at the end of the day, I love getting exposed to lots of different education, but I don't ever want that to undermine your own personal power and how you take control of your lifestyle and your health. So while I'm going to share some of my favorite products and information about this, I really want to let you know that there are so many choices, even just that Young Living has, that if something that I suggest doesn't resonate with you, ask any of your Young Living friends. And Young Living has all these categories of different kinds of products, so there's a lot out there to choose from. All right, so first of all, I'm going to start with the nervous system. And some of the products that I enjoy most for the nervous system are, for one, Stress Away. And this is just like an example of what I was going to talk about, because I love Stress Away. I'm not a big fan of Peace and Calming. So that is one of those issues where Peace and Calming may resonate with you much more than Stress Away. But I love Stress Away because some of its ingredients help soothe our central nervous system. So right away, that's going to be good for our nervous system. Again, just like James shared with us at the beginning of our Zoom, Valor is an amazing oil for grounding. And some of you guys may have this obtuse idea about what grounding is, but in reality, it just helps you kind of get grounded and help plant your feet on the earth and start to send some of your energy and thoughts down so that you just feel calmer, more secure in your life and your place and your purpose. The nervous system is going to tie beautifully into gut health. So a couple other things that I love for nervous system support are the supplements multigreens. And I love that multigreens have the essential oils of rosemary, melissa, lemon. So while I think this is a great supplement that actually also helps with nervous system, helps with emotional health, it also helps with gut health. And I wanted to briefly say, because I try to watch as much education about supplements as I can, one of the reasons that our supplements include essential oils is because they act as a delivery mechanism for better absorption and cellular delivery. So our supplements are what I consider active and bioavailable to be absorbed. So if you have any questions about that, you can let me know. But a couple of my other favorite nervous system supports, I keep this little roller ball station beside of my bed at night, and I really love using Rutavala. So Rutavala does not smell the best, and if you guys think it smells funky, you'll agree with me, but it's considered a nerve tonic or a nervous system tonic. And so James says I have this calm energy. I work really hard at that because I also feel like I need a nervous system sedative like every single day. And Rutavala is one of my like powerhouse favorite go-tos. A milder, relaxing nervous system tonic could be Tranquil. And it smells heavenly. It's so lovely. And I keep this right by my bed too. I like to rub this on the outsides of my ears, and I also use the reflex points on my feet of under my big toe and under what would be like my ring finger toe or my fourth toe, I guess. Some people may find that an oil like frankincense is their preferred way to ground or feel settled or to calm their nervous system. I'm really digging this Calm CBD roller. I am not a CBD oil user every day, but during this whole current situation we find ourselves in, I'm finding that I'm putting this on my chest almost every single day and taking some nice deep grounding breaths. And then just because the world is crazy right now and I do not want to be crazy, I'm using one of my good friends, White Angelica. So White Angelica, I always like to say that this is like if you've watched the movie Dirty Dancing, this keeps you in a positive energy bubble where this is my space and that's your space. And I'm going to put on White Angelica and I'm going to keep my positive, good vibe, good juju energy in my bubble. So love White Angelica, and I'm hoarding it right now. Because if you guys remember and you've been with Young Living for a while, there were like a couple years we couldn't get it. So White Angelica for all the good times. Then my last two supplements that I'll talk about with this nervous system situation is Cortistop. And the nervous system has like a parasympathetic and a sympathetic system of balance going on. And when we're feeling stress, nervousness, anxiousness, and we have that fight or flight response in our bodies can overproduce and underregulate adrenaline, cortisol, and men and women can both use this Cortistop. And I really love this. And if you have more questions about that, feel free to reach out. This has some amino acids in it that are actually really beneficial for your brain. So if I'm starting to feel like I'm kind of mental health struggling, I actually love this supplement. And then one of my all-time favorite supplements also is ImmuPro. And if you've ever gone through an undesirable health issue or any kind of unwanted feelings or emotions, you may know how important sleep is and how if you're not having good quality of sleep, it can cause this breakdown in your body. So we really want to prioritize good sleep. ImmuPro crosses over between supporting the nervous system and the immune system because it has all of these ingredients that aren't found in any other Young Living supplement, like all these great mushrooms. It has wolfberry. It has melatonin, which is my favorite because I'll be honest, sometimes if I'm like a little unsure about the state of the world and my mind's busy, I have a hard time like slowing down and shutting down at night to go to sleep. So I love this beauty of a little supplement right here. Any other fans of ImmuPro on the chat? Yeah, this is good stuff. So we'll go on over and cross over into gut health. This would be a great place for me to ask my question for my giveaway. I haven't done that yet, have I? Okay, so I'm gonna give away a 5 ml bottle of Clarity because, as Jaclyn said earlier, it doesn't resonate with me. And I'm okay with that. Other oils for the purpose of Clarity resonate with me better. So I'm gonna give you guys a 5 ml Clarity. And here's my question. You can answer it at any time. Bridget's gonna keep track of it. It's a 2-parter and you have to get both parts right. What does a prebiotic do? And what Young Living product has both prebiotics and probiotics? So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to answer that. And I'll go ahead and talk about some of my other favorite gut health products. So I already talked about multigreens. I personally think that multigreens helps keep my gut at an alkaline pH. And that means that, I'm not going to go into a thing about nutrition, but a lot of our standard American diet, or even if you eat like a whole foods clean diet, a lot of our go-tos are more acidic. Coffees, sugars, grains, all those end up having an acidic effect in the gut, which is a better atmosphere for bad things to grow. We want to keep the pH in our gut more alkaline. So we want to do things like you can add lemon or lemon oil to your water. Multigreens is full of good like chlorella and spirulina, in addition to all this other stuff that benefits gut health, emotional health, and immune system health. Another very easy supplement that we can take that helps keep our gut alkaline is alkaline. That's kind of like an instant alkalinizer. And so when your gut pH is more alkaline, bad things don't flourish there. So we want to keep our guts alkaline. Another thing that's really important to do for gut health is to take digestive enzymes. So if you've ever had an illness, a chronic illness, taken an antibiotic, you have damaged your gut health and your biome. And your digestive fires are not firing like they should, and you just probably aren't naturally making the enzymes that you need to be making to digest your food. So take the digestive enzymes. They have all of these words that end in A's that help break down carbohydrates, fats, fruits, milks, and all the other things. And then probiotics. So Young Living's probiotic is Life 9, and it has 17 billion active cultures, which is great. You want to take a probiotic supplement that has like at least over 10 billion active cultures, and you want to take a probiotic that has multiple strains of bacteria. So we really kind of want to throw all the good things at the gut, and it's not a precise science. I really wish that we could just take like one thing and we'd miraculously heal our gut. I think it's part of our health journey to really get back in touch with our guts. Back in touch, it's considered like our second brain. It's in control of some of our emotional center. It's in control of our digestive health. It's really what links a lot of our body systems together. So there's that. And then I hope that people have answered the question, because I'm about to give the answer away. KidSense Mighty Pro is one of my favorite products, and I have 2 kids and they don't even take it. So this tastes like fruit punch pixie sticks, and it has prebiotics and probiotics. So to answer my question, I hope that people have already answered it. Probiotics are a special kind of dietary fiber that feed or fertilize good bacteria. So we want to keep the good bacteria in our gut. And to do that, we want to make it hospitable. Like you see these plants behind me. I'm trying to learn how to be a plant mom. I want to give my plants what they need to thrive and be happy. And that's kind of what prebiotics do. We're fertilizing our gut. So our gut is like a multitude of things that are microscopic. We don't understand it. We don't have to. We just want to do things for it that we know are beneficial, that we know that it needs, and we want to be kind to ourselves and to our guts and to our body. So we don't want to talk mean to our guts. We want to speak kindly, just like we do to our pets and our family and our plants. Okay, sorry, I'm off on a tangent. All right, and then that brings us to the immune system. And Jaclyn's already talked about this a lot. I know a lot of us have been hearing a lot about the immune system, so I just wanted to share some bases that I'm covering. I'm in 100% agreement with Jaclyn. I've been doing these things for so long that I'm not doing that much differently. What I am doing is making sure that I'm stocked up on practical vitamins. So I have extra Super C's. I have a vitamin D, I have Super B's, and then I'm doing all the gut health things because the gut health really fortifies our whole system. I'm doing the inner defense. I'm actually just have these around the house. I'm not taking them actively. If I don't have any active symptoms, I'm kind of saving them for a rainy day, which I hope never comes. And then just all the other things that are going to help support your immune system and your respiratory system. So our C, Exodus 2. I'll just inject real quick that I've heard you can make a great ointment with like a rose ointment or animal scents ointment and Exodus 2 and can just swab in your nostrils and around your nostrils before you leave the house. And then all the Thieves and all the Breathe Again and all of the Thieves spray. And you know, that's my big spiel on the immune system, guys. I mean, it's all works together. There's really no way to separate it. I think about the whole body. I want you guys to think about your whole body. I love to use the analogy that our body is like a fortress or a castle, and we just want to keep all of the systems in the exterior and the interior fortified, supported, and strengthened. And so I feel like that's what all these products do. And you don't have to do all of them. Just do what resonates with you. If you feel like you're lacking in an area, fortify that area. If you feel like you're saturated in one area of a supplement, you can quit taking that supplement for a little bit. If you feel like you might need some extra support and extra fortification, start taking more of another supplement. And as you go along on your journey, you'll become more familiar with what you need and what you're saturated in and what you're deficient in. And there are tools to use along the way. So thank you guys for letting me speak to you today. If you have any more questions, reach out. Hopefully I covered it in an efficient way. So blessings to you guys.
Thank you so much, Allison. So much of what you said resonated with me. I just use a lot of those oils and those supplements. Just to highlight it, ImmuPro I use every night. The Rutabaga I used to use a whole lot. You're right, it does have a very earthy aroma, but it is just one of the most calming oils there is. And I used to use it to get to sleep at night when I'd wake up in the middle of the night and didn't want to take an ImmuPro. At that time, I would use an oil, and that would be the Rutabaga. But so much there. I'm very big on the Young Living supplements and how they can support our health and well-being. I can see why you're flowing in so much health and well-being. Thank you very much. Thank you. So the winner of the was Elaine Stempinski. I hope I'm pronouncing the last name correctly. she was the second correct one, but Julia Legg had already won one, so we decided to give it to the second person just to spread the wealth. Congratulations, Elaine. Be sure to get me your correct mailing address, so I do believe I think I have it. So I want to move on. Let me just look at one thing. Okay, so Michelle will announce it when it's her turn to speak. It'll be a lead in to our next one. But now I want to introduce one of my favorite people in the world, actually. Many of you, some of the West Virginia peeps have met her because she was at the West Virginia rally during the summer. She is a Diamond support person. Many of you know that I can troubleshoot your problems and get things fixed. Well, it ain't really me fixing it. It's Leonani Travis who just supports our whole team in such a generous, wonderful way, sometimes offering free shipping, or you don't even know what's involved to keep the show flowing on the Young Living corporate side of things. And Leo is going to share some of that with us right now. I'm so grateful that you're on the call with us, Leo. Take it away.
Hi everyone. I'm super nervous. This is my first Zoom call presentation. I'm fine speaking in front of people, but it's weird because you guys aren't here. Really quick, I just wanted to share a little bit about myself before I get into the randomness that I have sort of prepared. I'm actually originally from Hawaii. I'm from Kaneohe, and it's a town on Oahu. I live here now in Utah, and I've been here for about 7 years, and I can't believe that it's already been 7 years. I've worked with Young Living for 4 of those 7 years, and before Diamond Support, I was actually on the leadership team, and I've loved it ever since. I've had a lot of different jobs, and I've loved a lot of the people that I've worked with, and I've enjoyed most of my jobs, but this is definitely the first job that I've had that I love the people that I work with on both the corporate end as well as on the field side, and especially I just love my job. It's just so much fun. I've learned so much things about Young Living and having a healthier lifestyle. Still things that I'm implementing and learning, so it's been really great. And just the people that I work with on both ends are just so awesome. And thank you so much for letting me come here and be part of your team for a little bit. And you probably can't tell, but I feel like I'm blushing with all the kind words that James gave, and just for you guys letting me come and hang out for a bit. I wanted to speak a little bit about customer service. James wanted me to kind of give, I guess, like a behind the scenes type of point of view, mostly from our perspective on the other side of the phone or the other side of the chat line when you folks contact Young Living. We, in all of the different levels of customer service, from member services, leadership services, and Diamond Support, we do our absolute best to help you guys. And I know that sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but we have different levels of capabilities, I guess you could call them. Member services, they'll do everything that they can right away, first contact. They do have stricter policies within their team. And so that's why we also have leadership services, where your silver through platinum leader can help you get other things done. And then if they aren't able to get that done, then it'll come up to Diamond Support. We try really hard for it not to get all the way up to Diamond Support, but different cases come up with different situations, and different things need to be done that member services don't have access to do. So we definitely try to help you guys out. And please know that we do love you guys, and we do appreciate everything that you guys are doing for your team, and especially for Young Living as a whole. As Mary always says, without you, we can't do our jobs, and without us, you guys can't do our jobs. So it's definitely a family that we have within our company, and it's super amazing. I know that with everything happening in the world right now, it's pretty crazy, and it's for like, especially for ordering. And I'm so sorry if you guys feel not heard. We're doing our best to get everything out. I'm not sure if any of you have seen Lauren Walker's posts or seen on our Young Living website. We have a purple banner at the top that says something along the lines of COVID-19 updates. I'm actually going to read you the little blurb from that and then share some pictures on our efforts to help make sure that we get everything out from the orders that you folks are putting in a timely manner, and also our efforts of COVID-19 things. Give me just 1 second to pull this up so that I can read it to you, because I did not memorize it. Let's see. Okay. Currently, we are processing in-stock orders from about April 10th through the current day. We do try to update this as often as possible, and that'll most likely pop up in the, or not most likely, that will pop up in the website just along that purple banner. Let's see. So it says, we have seen incredible demand for our high quality, effective products in recent weeks. In fact, daily orders outpace our shipping capabilities by over 40%. Not only is the high volume a factor, but we've also added social distancing measures to protect our employees, which limits our ability to scale up to the demand. To mitigate this stress, we've added multiple temporary fulfillment centers to our operations. These temporary centers will help us process an additional 15 to 20,000 orders a day. So those 2 additional warehouses are actually here in Utah. We've used one of them before, and we tend to use this one most often when we have a high volume of orders, typically during the holidays at like Black Friday and so forth. And then we have this newer one that we were able to work with to continue with orders. Let's see. Our delivery partners are also seeing increased shipping times, which may impact your order. Please note that orders are being shipped in the order that they are received. Backorder products are also being shipped in the order that they are received and as soon as they are available. If an order contains a backordered item, processing may be further delayed. Some may be shipped separately to expedite the remaining products in your order. We are working to get backordered items out as soon as we possibly can. Please make certain that your shipping address, email, and phone number are up to date in your virtual office, so a carrier can reach out to you if your location has been closed due to a shelter-in-place directive. If you need help tracking your order or have questions about your order, please contact member services. Again, thank you so much for everyone's patience on this. I know it's so crazy and it gets so frustrating when you folks need products. We're definitely doing our best that we can to get them out as quickly as possible. Oh, and then I was going to share some pictures. It's actually some pictures that Lauren Walker had shared previously in her post on Facebook. Let me figure this out. This is the first time I'm sharing my screen, I guess. Share screen. And share from beginning. Let's try this. So this is actually, if you've ever visited our warehouse in Spanish Fork, this is on the bottom floor. This is where our packaging, I guess, and happens, where a lot of the oils are filled and such like that. So we had to put up the partitions there to help with the COVID-19 efforts to keep our employees safe. Usually this is not here and everyone just kind of close together doing their thing. This is actually another part of the warehouse. This is called our pick line. On the side you can see a bunch of boxes with product in there, and there's usually probably about twice as many, if not even more, people that'll stand along both sides, and they'll be putting in items into these orange-ish colored tubs. We kind of call it like a whack-a-mole. There's a light that'll pop up on what's going to be inside of this in the order per tub, and you have to just kind of pick it where it comes up from and put it in the tub. That's why it's called a pick line. It can be really fun and also really stressing. I went one time to help out when it was pretty crazy, last holiday season. My first time helping out in the warehouse. It was really fun, and everyone there is so fast and they're so amazing in getting everything done. I was so slow, but it was really neat to see how it worked on that end. So we definitely have less people here, which also kind of holds up some of our pushing out of orders. And then we have partitions in between different packaging system or stations, just to keep everyone safe. And here's one of our other people working at the warehouse, and she's wearing one of the masks. We actually had a bunch of volunteers throughout Young Living staff that went and made a ton of masks for our warehouse people to help with all of the COVID things, to make sure everyone's safe and protected, and doing a good job and having fun out there while still being separated, I guess. So yeah, it's pretty fun that we're still able. Pretty fun. I'm sorry. It's really amazing that we're still able to be open and get out these amazing products to everyone. And I'm so grateful to still be working and to still help out everyone. And yeah, I don't know. I guess the last thing before my giveaway, which I almost forgot about, is to just remember that we're all in this together. We all have, anxieties toward everything that's happening, but just remember that the other person on the person on the other side of the phone line or the chat is also a human and also a person, and they still have feelings. And I know that different situations will bring about different emotions. And we start to feel that too through the tone and through how, everything comes through, and we'll do our very best. So please be patient with us, and please remember that we love you guys. Yeah, so my giveaway is I feel it's kind of random because it doesn't super tie into what I'm talking about like everyone else has, but I mean, what do you give away for customer service information? But I'm gonna do a 2-pack of Ningxia Red. And I think I love Ningxia Red. It's awesome. I got my dad to drink it. My mom's still kind of on the fence about it, but we'll get there when we get there. So I'm going to give away a 2-pack of Ningxia. Let me pull up my question. Let's see. My question is, in addition to whole fruit, wolfberry puree, and superfruit, oh my gosh, I can't speak, superfruit juices and extracts, Ningxia Red is formulated with which 4 essential oils? Good luck.
Oh, Leo, thank you. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. I'm so grateful that you got on the Zoom with us. I know you, like me, have to stretch the envelope of your comfort zone to do this, and we really appreciate it. I loved your PowerPoint. It really demonstrated the lengths that Young Living has gone to stay open for us. To have so few people working and shipping at the same time now and still get things out the door is just amazing. And you didn't really talk about the supply line part of it. There's so much that Young Living has done. Also, I know some of you are experiencing long hold times with customer service, and you have to realize maybe 1/3 of the people or 1/4 of the people can be in the office at the same time answering your calls. So there's so much that Young Living is doing to keep the ship afloat, and y'all are keeping the ship afloat. And we're real grateful. I can't even express how grateful I am for Young Living on so many levels. And Leo, you are a big part of that. You really are. I hope you end up being like Jordan, stay with Diamond Support forever, because you really help us out in a big way. Thank you. So I'm going, let's see if I have a winner announced on the, Ashley who? Bridget is handling as best she can the winner. So Ashley won the 2-pack of Ningxia Red. Ashley Hilton. There you go. Yay. Ashley, get me your address, please, if I'll need it. I had posted, I'm going to post again my, well, that wasn't the right thing. I'll post my email, the oilman108@gmail.com, and 201-906-2994 is my phone. Text me, or oh, that jumbled it up. Anyway, it's all there, so you can contact me, Ashley, and give me your contact information, and then I'll get it to Young Living, and they'll get it to you. All right. Well, because we've run over, we've learned a lot. This has been a learning curve for us. I'll let Michelle announce it, but I want to announce Michelle now. And Michelle is really the driving force, those of you who don't know, of getting these West Virginia rallies going and keeping them going. When I have wanted to, sometimes I'm a slacker, when I've wanted to slack off, Michelle's on my case. She is like on me like white on rice, ensuring that we get the job done. She's both overarching, vision oriented, but also very detail oriented, and is a great manager. In another lifetime, she'll probably be a big corporate manager of some Fortune 500 company. But right now she's a very, and I know this part of her business is suffering with what's going on. She is a healer. She's a massage therapist. I've never had the great good fortune of receiving that from Michelle, but I have had the great good fortune of being her friend and traveling with her on cruises, being in Croatia, being at a raindrop class with Gary Young in Croatia. We've had phenomenal times together, and we've really evolved into a wonderful friendship. So I will hand it over to Michelle now. She's going to have an announcement and a giveaway. It's all yours, Michelle.
Oh, thank you, James. I love you so much. And yeah, I could talk a long time about how much I love you and our time for that. I think you guys can see me and hear me. Yeah, there it goes, my screen. Okay, so we're way over our time, and James is scheduled to speak at Gale Ann's Memorial online, so we don't want him to miss that. So we are going to save my presentation on Raindrop for our Zoom that we're having next month. That's going to be on May 16th. That's another Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And so I'll do my full presentation then, because there's no way I can cut it down to 30 seconds. I usually teach an 8-hour class on Raindrops, so it was already a challenge for me to cut it down to 10 minutes, but I can't cut it down to 10 seconds. So next month, May 16th, noon Eastern Standard Time, we will have another one of these with all different speakers, and I will give my Raindrop presentation then to tell you how wonderful it is for your immune system and your body and your health in so many ways. So I don't know how you want me to do my giveaway now, because my giveaway was going to be a question from my talk. So
why don't we save it for next time?
Yeah, let's just save it for
next time.
We'll
and
just
that
save
will be
it
a big reason for you all to get on next time.
Yeah, I have 2 really great things to give away, so I'm happy to look forward to doing that next month. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I will see you next month.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you. That just demonstrates the kind of leader Michelle is, and to put her ego aside and to do things for the greater good of the whole team, and why she has become such a wonderful friend of mine. I'm very grateful. And I am grateful for all of you for being on this Zoom. I usually begin my talks this way. I did not, but I will do it now in the wind up. Y'all could have been doing anything this Saturday. Maybe not wandering around outside in a shopping mall, but you could certainly have been watching a Netflix series or something. You all are about personal growth. You're all about making yourselves the best you can be and helping our world become the best it can be. And that's why you're on this call. And I want to thank and honor each and every one of you for making the time to be part of this. The more of us that are doing this, that are involved together, the more energy. The energy of our Zoom today goes beyond just us on it, but it expands out into the world. And it wouldn't be that as much energy if 3 of us were on it. Yet at the height, I think we had 56 participants. So this was big. This was big. Let's get it to be even bigger next time. In the chat, I posted the link to Gail Ann. I'll post it again here to Gail Ann's memorial. And there it is. And then I have another link for next month, which is going to be on, what did we say, Michelle? What date? May 16th?
May 16th at noon Eastern Standard Time. And can you also, somebody put in the chat the link to our Life Science Publishers. If you order today, I think before midnight, 20% off and free shipping with the link that we have.
Yes, I'll find that. So here is the link, and it has a password. If you use the link to next month's, it's embedded in the link. If you get on to join with the meeting ID, you'll probably need to use that password. We're getting a little more security conscious with Zoom, though this one has been flawless that way, thankfully. And I will find that link for right now. I have it somewhere very close at hand, actually. The link for the Life Science Publishing.
Oh, thank you, Bridget just posted it.
She did.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you, Bridget. And since I copied it, I'll post it again. So you have it there twice, and you can get a 20% discount and free shipping. If you order, it'll probably be up through the weekend. When you go to that link, there are special instructions to get the 20% discount and free shipping. It'll be on the page you go to with that link. Be sure to follow those instructions to get the value for that. But that will be available through the weekend, I'm sure. All right, so we're going to wind this up. Let me see, I did have notes on my close. Is there anything I'm leaving out? We announced next month. We announced Gail Ann's. I believe, I have to announce the winner for Leo's drawing. Bridget messaged me that. And that was, I think Ashley. So Ashley, you won that, and you know that, so get me your address. And if any of you think I'm leaving anything out in the close, let me know. I think that is it. Yep, so you've all contributed to a super Zoom meeting. We're gonna do this again on May 16th. Save the chat off so you have the link, but they'll be posted in the different Facebook groups. And the recording of this will be available. Have yourself a super Saturday, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.